Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakahakwadash, Barakatum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure to the end. This is the Brother Ra'aya with another video. And in this video, I'll be profiling this clip from Morris Invests YouTube channel. And this is Clayton Morris of Redacted. And the title of this clip is Say Goodbye to the US Dollar as We Know It. And I'm going to play about the first 7 minutes of the video. But when you listen to Clayton Morris talk about the how things are going to play out with the rollout of a digital dollar, more digital currency in this cashless society we're quickly coming into. Hey, this man sounds like he's been listening to the prophets, because what have the men of the Lord, the prophets of the Most High, chiefly of GMS or Great Millstone, as well as the brothers that come in the spirit of GMS, been telling you what was going to happen with this society? That something was going to happen to the current economic order. Hey, the US dollar was going to fade away. And then the next step, the final step, the final solution, as it were, would be the MARKOFTHEBEAST in Revelation chapter 13, verses 16 to 18, which is the RFID/NFC C-HIP implant. And again, when you listen to how Clayton Morris lays it out, a lot of the points he makes has been points that the prophets, beginning with our apostles and elders on down, have been making over the last couple of years. Well, over the last, decades. And hey, this is just a further sign that we are at the door of the rollout and mandatory implementation of the C-HIP implant, the MOTB. But before I get started, I'm going to read Isaiah chapter 34, verse 16. Seek ye out of the book of Yahweh and read, which is, of course, the Bible, the Old Testament and the New Testament, as well as the Apocrypha, which is a part of the Old Testament. No one of these shall fail. No one of these prophecies shall fail. None shall want her mate. There's no other, holy book, spiritual text, philosophy, ideology, religion, scientific method, whatever you want to call it, that can compare to the 144% accuracy of the scriptures. The scriptures tell you what happened in the past, what we're currently going through, and what's going to take place in the future. From my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them. And the major prophecy we're waiting for right now, which will not fail, because the mouthpiece of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai has commanded it. The prophets have spoken it, and the Most High is going to enact it, is the rollout and mandatory implementation of the C-HIP implant. This is Revelation chapter 13. I'm going to start at verse 16. And he causeth all, that he, being the elite rulers of the planet right now, who are of the nation of Esau, Edom, or these so-called white people, such as your Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Gettys, etc., both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, everyone in society, especially in these Western countries, who, as we can see, they are quickly moving towards CBDCs and a digital cashless society, to receive MARK in their right hand or in their foreheads, that C-HIP implant. And what just took place about a week or so ago, I think it was the second patient of Elon Musk's Neuralink, and we know that that's an example of the charagma in the forehead. Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell, get a job, travel abroad, do anything, save he that had the charagma, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Just like with the juice For the C019, during that whole 2019 to 2021 situation, to where people were faced with losing their jobs, they were barred from entering certain establishments. It's going to be no different when they roll out and mandatorily implement the CHIP. And you won't be able to buy or sell, get particular jobs, travel. Hey, you'll be seen as a social pariah. And it's going to get so bad out here to where people will eventually be faced with being put to death for not receiving the CHIP. Let's jump up to verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. And the image of the beast is the political, financial, and military aspects of this beast system that we're currently living in. The reincarnated Roman Empire, the NATO EU system that the U.S. is a part of and at the head of, those iron toes mixed with miry clay in Daniel chapter 2. And that CHIP is a major aspect of the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. You're going to be financially killed in society, and eventually you're going to be faced with being physically killed for not receiving that CHIP. But without further ado, let's play this clip. And this is a fair use copyright disclaimer. I do not own any of the footage in this clip, nor do I stand to gain from it monetarily. It is simply for educational purposes.
Well, the US dollar as we know it is about to change forever. In a recent video, I unpacked all of the ways the US dollar is losing its strength and its dominance as the world's principal reserve currency. If you haven't seen that video, check it out in this card right up here. I think it's up there. Go watch that video. But right now, I want you to watch this, because what I didn't quite go into in that video is how all of this is brewing and culminating, making way for the introduction of a central bank digital currency. So today we're going to talk about the future of digital currency, why it poses a significant threat to the United States dollar. Now, a CBDC, central bank digital currency, is being promoted as an alternative to replace the American monetary system, which has been in place since the 1700s. Now, proponents of a digital currency would...
Not an alternative, the completely next step for this economic system of control that the elites want to bring about, that he that causeth all.
Argue that the advantage would include streamlined payment systems, more secure payments. But there's a lot more that goes into it than just that. In reality, the use of CBDCs would pose substantive risks to the American people who are used to traditional currency systems that offer privacy and independence. Cash, right? So you're basically going to remove cash. You're going to remove the anonymity that comes with basic private financial transactions. I want to pay the babysitter. I want to pay the gardener. Why is the government telling me what I can and cannot do with my money?
Because they want everybody to be locked into the system and on the grid, perfect little goyim under complete control, to where if you buck up, and you even get so much as you even post so much as a negative opinion, if you still have the ability to do that online, hey, you're completely X'd out of society, hey, financially, and then eventually, physically, permanently.
But it's happening.
Sloppy, goddamn bad.
Moving away from the US dollar could lay the groundwork for what could arguably be the most significant intrusion upon financial privacy for citizens of the United States and other countries that have already been implementing them. Of course, we're seeing this all across Europe right now. You will be considered part of the gray market, aka the terrorists market, if you are caught using more than 1,000 euros in cash. We've heard that from Christine Lagarde, of course, head of the European Central Bank. She has said that. And she knows, and this is now part of the law in the European Union, that you cannot settle transactions in cash for larger than those sums. And they really want to get it down to about 500 or even 300 euros. 300 euros? Are you kidding me? I mean, think about buying a used car or just paying a gardener or whatever. You can't do that now? You can't use that amount of cash or you're considered a terrorist? Those are her words, by the way, not mine. Now, the implications of a digital dollar are not only going to jeopardize your privacy, but they're also going to open a Pandora's box of governmental control, where the central bank can oversee, control, or restrict your transactions. And all of it begins with an orchestrated collapse of the US dollar, which of course has been in steady decline for decades. We know that. So the government spending sprees, mounting national debt, funding multiple wars. I think we're in like 9 wars right now, proxy wars, among other things. It's all led to a national debt of over $34 trillion. The United States.
And when you look at the real numbers for, the debt, it's around $200 trillion. This is a debt that can never and will never be paid back. So what? They're just going to completely reset the system, make everything digital. And a lot of people would be more than happy to get on board with the system if the powers that be said, look, we see that you're in crippling debt and, due to a cyber attack or any other system or event that's just completely wrecked this current economic structure, hey, we can bring it back online. We can even put, digital currency on your account if you get this CHIP implanted in you.
Is also set to lose its reserve currency status due to all of this spending. Again, I covered this in another video, so be sure to check that out next. I hope you do, because I really deep dive that conundrum for the United States. But think about it. Why would they allocate billions of dollars that they don't have to fund a losing war in Ukraine? Ukraine is never going to beat Russia. So why are they pouring all of this money there? They know it's impossible. They're going to risk devaluing the US dollar, which they're doing, and they're losing the dollar's dominance internationally. Why would they do that, you might want to ask? Well, the dominance is what gives Washington its economic and political power, not just in the US, but within other countries as well. So if they can drive the US dollar, the traditional US dollar, into the toilet, can they create a central bank digital currency to replace it? Yes. This other one collapsed. America's in trouble. Here comes your Federal Reserve riding in on a white horse with a digital currency.
And this is bigger than the US government or just a digital dollar. This is about creating a global system of control where everything is under the umbrella of that CHIP, which is going to be the middleman between you and these using these central bank digital currencies, these CBDCs, to function in society.
You don't need cash at all. All you need is the app, the FedNow app. Download it right now. And as a bonus, we're going to give you $2,000 a month right inside your FedNow wallet. Digital, forget cash. This is how they will control all of us. So the path they're on right now is going to ensure that the US power will dissolve. So they might have a good reason for driving this dollar into the ground. Perhaps it is I know this sounds crazy, right? It does sound like conspiratorial, but perhaps it is a way to pave the way for an alternative financial system that would gain authority and influence over the American people in a way that has never been seen before in the United States history. I know it might sound far-fetched, but listen to this. If given the...
Hey, to you sincere Akim and Akwat out there that have been listening to us over these last couple of years, again, like I said earlier, it's sounding like Clayton Morris has been listening to a lot of our videos, because what he's saying is pretty much blow for blow what brothers say all the time of how things are going to play out. But I'm going to just get, what is it? Habakkuk chapter 2. I'm going to start at verse 4, read down to about verse 6. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. And that's talking about these biblical Edomites, these so-called white people. What's it say in Psalms 58 verse 3? The wicked are estranged from the womb. They were created to be the wicked, from birth, to do everything completely contrary to righteousness. They were created by the Most High to set up this structure. But the just shall live by his faith. And the just is speaking of you Israelites, or you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, specifically the elite, the elect, who are going to be the elite in the kingdom of heaven. But speaking of the elect right now, who are putting all their faith in Yahweh Bahashem Yahawashi, that he's going to protect us during these times of Jacob's trouble and this hour of temptation when the Charagma is mandatorily implemented and we're going to be faced with death for not taking it. Verse 5, also because he transgresseth by wine, speaking of his philosophies that he gets people drunk off of. Democracy, feminism, capitalism, socialism, communism, the alphabet group beginning with LG. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell. And what are these, especially these Western Edomite nations known for doing? Going into these other countries to so-called overthrow their leaders who are dictators that are oppressing, human rights and abusing women and children, to set up democracy, and then what? Allow these corporations to come in there and just completely run roughshod over the people. Who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. And what does that sound like? A one world order with one currency, one religion. Their NW0, this great RESET that they want to establish, that fourth industrial revolution. Verse 6, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And how did these Edomites get everything they had from rape, robbery, and murder? Look at how this continent of America was taken from the Northern Kingdom, these so-called Latinos and Native Americans. And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. And when we go into that word clay in the Strongs, it's H5671, aptit. And what does it say? Weight of pledges, heavy debts. That's the key point, heavy debts. And what's these Western nations, especially the United States of America, going through right now? Being riddled with debts, student loan debt, housing debt, banking debt, etc., etc. As Clayton Morris was just saying, the U.S. just keeps printing money to fight these wars and, get involved in all these other endeavors, which just puts more debt on the U.S. citizen, more taxes to pay that back, and it devalues the currency, which means you need more money to pay for less. The system is going to buckle under its own weight, and it's all by design to what? Bring in that new system so that he can heap unto him all peoples, all nations, and all tongues. He gathered, and what was it? And he gathereth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a MARK in their right hand or in their foreheads, bringing this digital cashless society predicated upon people having that C-hip in them so that they may buy and sell and be a part of this system.
Ability to monitor or freeze digital money. The government could easily influence and even punish with the simple push of a button. For instance, if a government shoots for a net zero carbon emissions goal and feels that you're going over your carbon footprint with certain purchases, they could program some limits into your spending, right? This could be done under the guise of safeguarding the environment. They're telling us this.
And that's another thing, carbon credits attached to it, a whole bunch of stipulations, a social credit system to further monitor the people. Just look at what's going on over in China right now, which has just been a perfect model for what the elites want to bring to America with their social credit system. If you say anything against the government, make purchases by foreign countries that the government's against, or just do anything that is suspect, in quotes, to the government, they lower your social credit score so that you can't buy or sell particular things, get a particular job, travel to certain locations, and people that still hang out with you with a low social credit score, their score will go down as well. So that'll just push people away from you. How much easier would that be with a C-hip in everybody to just monitor them 24/7? And what's even crazy is I read somewhere that with China's digital yuan, because they've already, rolled out a digital currency, that they were talking about that after a certain period, let's say after a particular month, if you haven't used whatever digital currency has been allotted to you, they're just going to completely erase it. So you can't store, your digital currency up. You're going to be forced to constantly buy and sell things.
Openly, The World Economic Forum, the Fed are all telling us this, that the environment is part of this. And so too is the Biden administration. By having digital currency, we can improve the environment. Well, why? Because paper money is so detrimental to the environment? No. It's not that at all. In fact, it's the carbon footprint that they'll be able to control, which will give them the environmental upper hand they think, which is a total canard. The tracking technology, though, is already here. It's been here. In 2019, MasterCard, along with Doconomy, launched a carbon...
And that whole situation from 2019 to 2021 really fast-tracked, this digital cashless society, because what did we see? Them talking about the Dos Equis, traveling on physical currency, so they would have to take physical currency out of the circulation. We had social spacing and a push for contactless payment systems, cashierless kiosks, QR codes on the napkin dispensers at restaurants that you would have to use on your phone to, see the menu. A push for, a lot of these digital apps like Venmo, Apple Pay, Cash App. And now what do we see in Whole Foods? You can either pay with your credit card or debit card, but then they've also got that other little system next to it, Apple One, which you pay with scanning your palm.
Footprint calculator.
Yeah, but listen to this.
Little canard. The tracking technology, though, is already here. It's been here. In 2019, MasterCard, along with Doconomy, launched a carbon footprint calculator that paired with a credit card that allows you to voluntarily turn off charging capabilities if you go over your carbon footprint limit. So CBDCs could also be programmed to block specific purchases, just like an EBT credit card allows shoppers to buy food items. So guys, if you want your purchases monitored, restricted, or limited, a CBDC would be just right for you. It'd be perfect, actually. If you're a sheep, if you're like a Biden sheep out there, this would be perfect for you. We already are seeing this unfold. There's a new form of digital money in the works right now in the United Kingdom, dubbed the Britcoin. Could be introduced in the years to come. In its initial phase, people will be blocked from hoarding the new digital pounds issued by the Bank of England and will only be allowed to transfer a few thousand digital pounds.
Hey, what did I just say about that digital yuan?
Into their accounts. If we make the switch to a central bank digital currency, what if the system feels like someone has too much money for one person? Like you've done well for yourself as an entrepreneur, but that person has too much money. Will they simply transfer wealthy citizens' money right out of their accounts, spread it around to those people in need? Are you starting to see the big picture now on how dangerous replacing?
Exactly. Hey, to you other camps out there that are saying that the MOTB is anything but the C-hip implant, hey, are you starting to see the big picture now? Hey, as we get closer and closer to the rollout and mandatory implementation of the Charagma, hey, a lot of y'all are going to be shown to be what you truly are, those wolves in sheep's clothing. But that's it with this clip. Hey, as we can clearly see, with each passing day, we're getting closer and closer to the fulfillment of Revelation chapter 13, verses 16 to 18. But I'm going to close it out in 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11, lest Satan should get an advantage of us. And, you've got the spiritual demon Satan, and then you've got his physical counterpart on earth, Esau, Edom. So lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Hey, it's one thing with Clayton Morris, saying these things and speculating on it, but we through the scriptures can read between the spiritual lines and, see exactly what Esau Edom's coming with. He's not coming with this digital cashless society or Neuralink or anything like that to make life more easy and convenient. He's coming with it to bring control, to get everybody locked down into the system. And if you don't want to play ball, hey, not only are you going to be financially killed, that you may neither buy or sell, but eventually you will be faced with being physically killed. Hey, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. So that's it with this video. And with this video, I hope you sincere Akim and Akwath were edified. Hey, just keep strong. As we can clearly see, we are almost out of this final wicked captivity of the heathen nations, chiefly of the Edomites. And as always, I'm going to say Abad Babal, Kwam Yasharallah, and until next time, Shalom.